y'all. Welcome to the Honest to Goodness podcast,
where we give you our honest opinions
on good entertainment. I'm Morgan.
I'm Kerri.
I'm Nicole. And without further ado,
here's today's episode.
We hope you enjoy.
Hey y'all, welcome to the Honest to Goodness podcast, where we give you our honest opinions on good entertainment. I'm your host, Kerri, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely co-hosts, Morgan and Nicole. And we are so excited today to begin recapping season 1 of When Calls the Heart. So if y'all have been here since the beginning, first of all, you deserve a prize. Second of all, we owe you an apology.
We have been saying that we were going to do this for so long.
Yeah.
Like literally since we started the podcast, whenever we were Hope Valley Central Station, we were saying how we were going to do this, and we still did not.
I remember it was 2021 because it was like, I think right after Christmas when y'all posted the review of the pilot movie, like right after Christmas 2021, and then I got COVID, so I didn't get to finish listening to that review.
Yeah. So
I don't think you're missing much. I think that was probably one of our most boring reviews because like we just like
I was enjoying so far what I heard.
I feel like, but then again, me and Kerri are pretty overcritical of ourselves because like I've tried to watch some of our podcast episodes whenever we first started, and I cringed so bad. Mostly at me, not at all at Kerri, because honestly, our podcast was carried by Kerri because I'd never done this before. But
I had not either, so thanks, I guess.
I guess because you're more of a people person than I am, and so you kind of know how to talk about that stuff. Plus, like, you know, you've been on movie sets and everything. But yeah, I'm sorry, you guys, because like this is long overdue.
Mm-hmm. I'm so excited we're finally getting to do it though, and then Nicole is here to do it with us.
Yay!
I'm sure we'll have some other friends come on and join us through our little journey here. But we're super excited. Honestly, it has been years since I have gone back and rewatched these. So to go back and rewatch this episode to talk about it today, I was geeking out so bad.
It hasn't been that long for me because I kind of went into this little like I want to go back moment back before I want to say it was this last year. I'm not sure exactly when I kind of started doing it. Though I didn't get quite to season 3 and I ended up having to stop because I just got too busy. But I got all the way till the end of season 2, and I'm not gonna lie, my mind just kept continually to be blown and like remember like different things happening and me being like, whoa, that happened in season 2. I thought that was like season 4, like or something like that. And I'm like, oh wow.
I could go back and watch this for the first time all over again.
Right? Oh my gosh.
I'm not sure. Okay, I don't think I would actually, because I'm not sure I could handle going back through all that trauma without being a bit prepared for it.
Okay, yeah.
Like if I could just stop at season 4, then yeah. But if it was like having to go back and completely do it all over again through all of it, no.
Well, I mean, up through the wedding of season 5, yes.
Yeah, up until the season, until like, if honestly, like, part of me still wishes they would have just stopped at the wedding. I absolutely adore and love all of the new people that have been put on the show because of Jack passing away. Obviously, like Kevin and Kayla and different people like that. But I'm not gonna lie, if I could really choose, I probably would still stick with them cutting it after the wedding. If I'm being honest.
I don't know how I feel about that. I'm like,
yeah. I know it's because I mean, but I'm not gonna lie, going back and watching this, I miss Jack so bad now. Too.
How snarky was he?
Right? I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot how snarky he was in that first season, especially.
I will say when we get to season 5, I don't know if I'm going to be prepared for episode 10. I have not watched season 5, episode 10 since it aired. I'm not even joking.
I don't think I have either. I don't think I have either. And another thing is like, I obviously, it's coming, but it does not affect it. It still is just like, oh, gut-wrenching.
Mhm.
Especially now knowing the facts about it, because of the fact that we now know that he went because Nathan ended up not being able to continue his job there, and knowing all of those little details. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
But no,
But
there's just this special dynamic that Daniel has
Yeah.
that really, like, it took me going back and watching this to really see that it's still missing from the show.
Mm-hmm.
And you can kind of still feel that missing piece. Like I know we kind of talked about this on the last episode when we were kind of talking about our expectations for season 10 and 11, technically. We kind of talked about how there's that one episode that's named what was the name of it, Nicole? About the dream? Life is but a dream.
Oh, Life is but a dream.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm really now rooting for that to be like a dream sequence with Jack, because I just miss Daniel so much, and I miss the dynamic he had with Aaron. Like those two need to do another Hallmark movie together.
Can we please? Seriously,
Please, yes.
Like, come on, Hallmark. Like that is where your money is at. Put those two together. Make them like the next like Andrew and
Nikki.
Yes. I'm telling you right now, they would be incredible together in a
the
Hallmark movie.
Hardys have been asking for it for
years, ever since he left the show. Even before he left the show.
Well, even before he left.
Yeah.
Put them in a Hallmark mystery series together.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Start a completely new series with the two of them together.
Aaron was supposed to have a mystery series, and then because of COVID, I think it got nixed.
Yeah.
Who is going to be her love interest in that?
I don't know. They never announced her male counterpart.
I'm telling you right now, they need to do it. I'm telling you right now, they would like. I love Andrew and Nikki, but I feel like they would smoke them two out of the water. I love Andrew and Nikki, but there's just this dynamic that those two have that I'm just like, oh, it's missing.
It was supposed to be something like the Royal Mysteries or something. It take place in like a foreign country.
Oh, okay. Y'all, we're eventually going to get to the actual episode, but I just had a thought. Let Daniel speak in his Australian accent in a mystery series.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Yes. Are you kidding me? That would, because like he does not do that many like. Rose is like, yes, she agrees. But y'all, like, oh, that would be perfect.
Yeah.
Right?
1 second, I'll be right back.
That would be amazing to get to see that though. Like, I don't know what his character would be that he would be Australian.
I thought he was from New Zealand.
No, he's from Australia.
That's where it keeps on getting mixing me up, and I'm sure that offends him very greatly. I'm sorry, Daniel.
I think he's from the area of Bondi Beach.
Okay.
I don't know how.
That would be so awesome.
Like, let's say he wasn't really necessarily like in a foreign country. He could be someone who just like recently moved to the States, and then that could be something where he's kind of like picking apart our American traditions, and him being like, "You Americans are so weird," or something like that, and like that
maybe
being like
he's like related. Maybe he's like related to people in the States or something, and he moves from Australia to the States to like help out in the family business or something, and I don't know.
Yeah. And I kind of see, like, I don't know if they have like if they've already had this, but I think like Erin, I'm kind of picturing her either as like maybe like a clothes designer, or like there was another one I had in mind whenever I was kind of different like thinking about different things like that, and I can't remember what it was. But yeah, I kind of picture her as maybe a seamstress, like a dress, like a clothing designer who has.
It's
like
so
her own
funny
little
because I
shop.
think I had started coming up with an idea with Daniel, but I think it was I want to say it was maybe Autumn Reese or somebody like that I had thought about. But it's so funny that
I
you
think
say
it
that
was Autumn. I think it was Autumn that
because
you
I had
picked
her
out.
as a seamstress
Yeah.
in that. So yeah, that's funny.
Okay, I have a
Yeah.
good idea. Since
Okay.
we never really got to see them married on When Calls the Heart, how about their characters can be married and they can be like a husband and wife crime solving duo?
Okay. Or how about you work up to that? Like, how about you have them meet?
Yeah, I
and
do
then,
want them. I feel like if they do something like this, that they would get them married a lot quicker than what they usually do whenever they do these mysteries. Because like, wasn't it like Aurora Tea Garden had like 18 episodes or 18 movies or whatever, and it took until like what, the 10th or 11th movie by the time I heard.
Oh, it was like one of the last movies that she finally got married.
Okay, that's it. Like, I don't want it to be like 18 movies and then they finally get married.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I said.
I know, like them, like trying, like, and I don't even really want them to do that with Andrew and Nikki's movie either, quite frankly. Because honestly, I feel like whenever you get them married, it's even more hilarious because they're just like, okay, look, I understand that we were doing this when we were dating, but now you're married. We're married. You need a cold hit. Like, you're gonna really get me in trouble with the fact that we're married.
And if it's not a mystery series, can it please be something where they sing together, please?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh, have it a mystery series, but have them like I will get a sentence out here in a minute. Have them have to
at a bar one night. Like, maybe they're undercover and they're at a bar and like the suspect's at the bar and it's a karaoke bar.
Or
and so
they
end up trying to be.
Or they even end up like in a theater show or something, like working undercover, investigating. So, oh yeah, have them do some stuff like that. That would be so cool.
Yeah. Or even like have Daniel be the one that isn't in the detective work, but Aaron is, and like have him like own a bar that's like a karaoke bar.
Ooh, that could be how they meet.
Exactly.
That could be how they meet. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, Hallmark, for crying out loud, hire us.
The karaoke club mysteries. That was really bad.
No, that's so cute.
Oh, to the M to the G, to quote Chris McNally.
I love this so much.
Hallmark, we are putting in our application, like, hire us.
Hold on, like, this is gold right here, baby. Like, come on, can you imagine?
Or the theater club mysteries.
I like that too.
I like that too.
Yeah.
Kind of similar to the Real Murders Club and Aurora Tea Garden.
Yeah.
That's cute. Yeah. I totally get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm just telling you, like, after watching this episode and seeing their dynamics, the way that they bicker with each other and the way that they were with each other. And then obviously you saw how they gradually fell in love and everything, but they still kind of would snap at each other or have like their little quirky moments where they would like kind of like poke at each other for fun. Like, oh my gosh.
They have really great chemistry.
They do.
Absolutely.
And I'm sorry, like, I know Aaron is in a relationship and I know Daniel is obviously happily married, and it's no disrespect to their respective partners. But you cannot convince me those two were not in love in the first few seasons of that show.
Right? Yeah.
They were in love, okay? They really in love, not as the characters, but as Aaron and Daniel. But that's all the thing.
But I mean, even Dan has said he'd love to work with Aaron again, and I think Aaron has too.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lori guest star in it, maybe as like one of the people that either gets killed or like is the killer.
What?
No.
Do not kill her off.
No.
Okay, she can be the villain. She can be the person that gets arrested. I would actually like to see Lori actually play the bad guy for once.
Oh, maybe she could be like Nicole, you've watched Sue Thomas FBI, right? Okay, what is the little guy's name that he's kind of a crook, but they always end up bringing him in to help them with jobs?
What is his name?
Dang it. I got it.
Hang on.
You know exactly who I'm talking about.
I know exactly who you're talking about. Hang on. I'm gonna look it up.
Y'all, I promise we're eventually gonna get to this episode, okay? Like
you guys had just let us get. We had to get our ideas out. We just had to get our ideas out. Once we're on this roller coaster, it has to go until it's over with.
Oh yeah.
Let's see.
But I was just thinking, like, if she doesn't want to sign on as being someone who's a frequent flyer on the show, like, 'cause I know Hallmark's history with her.
Are you talking about Howie?
Howie, yes, she can be their Howie. Somebody that's actually a little bit of a crook, can't quite, but they like still have to keep an eye on them. But at the same time, she comes in handy. Like he comes in handy.
What if she's like the gossiper in town? Like everyone goes to her for any information going on in the town.
Mm-hmm.
I see her being that kind of character who's rich, always knows the details, can get away with a lot of things because she has money. And like maybe she's the mayor's wife or something like that. Like she's high up, so she's the mayor's wife. So no one ever can really touch her because of that kind of thing. Almost like Dottie. Like yeah, she's pretty much like gonna be like a crooker, like a crooked, more like Dottie. Yeah, like a higher version of Dottie.
Yeah.
Hallmark or Great American Family, please, for the love of.
Yeah, that's how Great American Family can finally start their own mystery. Like,
right? Yeah, we'll go to Great American Family. We don't care.
I don't know how the contract things work, but please.
Yes. Hire us. You're putting in our applications. Hire us.
You won't regret it, obviously. I mean, even Andrew Walker says that we should do it. So, I mean, he says it. Come on.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
But maybe we should actually dig into the episode that we're actually here to do.
What were we talking about again?
I don't think we're actually starting to even dig into the actual episode. I think we were just kind of doing an overall spiel about Daniel.
Yeah, Season 1, Episode 1, Lost and Found.
Thank you, Nicole. Oh my gosh. But yes, I love this episode. Watching her like coming into town and talking about the fact, like I had kind of forgotten the fact that she said that it was her sister Julie that kind of made her do this because she told her she couldn't. So I was like, thank you, Julie. Like
yeah, completely indebted to Julie.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love how she says, I am Elizabeth Thatcher, a strong, independent, capable woman. And then of course we see her fall out of the stagecoach and she's like, I can face any obstacle with courage, grace, and dignity.
And dignity. And she's like on the floor of the stagecoach freaking out when she says that.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, I remember the first time I ever watched this. I remember my first impressions of this episode being that the first several minutes seemed like they were trying to remake the pilot movie. And I remembered actually not liking it that well. Going back and rewatching it, having not just watched the pilot movie, I did not feel that whatsoever. And I absolutely loved it. But of course, her coming into town and she's asleep in the back of the wagon when they pull up in the middle of Cold Alley,
I love that. She just kind of like pops up. She's like, okay.
Yeah. And then seeing Ned Yost and Florence Blakely in there together in that very first episode, knowing what's going to happen like 9 seasons away, 8-9 seasons away. Yeah. Like that blew my mind. And just seeing how much Florence has changed in that amount of time.
Oh my God. How much all of them have changed.
Yes.
I mean, the whole dynamic of the show as it's gone through, like the way that they dressed, the way that the town looked, the way that they were all acting with each other. Like, I mean, and is it honestly looking, and obviously it was because of like the makeup and obviously the way she was dressed, but like Lori looks way younger now than what she did in those episodes. And I guess because they were trying to make her look older, which I'm glad they stopped doing because she's absolutely gorgeous. Not saying that she wasn't gorgeous in, the way they dressed her, but like just the way that everything has shifted. I remember whenever I first watched it this past year, I was like, wow. Like,
yeah.
there's so many people there that aren't even on the show anymore. So many of the kids, like whenever Gabe popped up, I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot about Gabe. He was so stinking cute. He was absolutely perfect. I miss Gabe so much.
Same. I loved Gabe. I loved Gabe so much.
Gabe. Oh
and
my
I know
God.
like y'all have mentioned the fact that Anna was in the first season, but I honestly didn't really remember her. But seeing her in that classroom, I was like, wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh man. And I remember obviously one of the first scenes is whenever she finally meets like Florence and Molly and Abigail and a few of the other mothers. And I remember she was sitting there, obviously they're kind of like grilling her because they find out that she's like this rich princess from the, you know, the city. And I love whenever she kind of quotes Latin, and Florence pretty much tells her like, you need to go back to Italy or wherever the heck you are from and get out of here.
Go back to Latin or wherever it is you come from. Like, she didn't even know that Latin wasn't a place.
Right, exactly. And so like I don't know, man.
That first meeting in the saloon with Elizabeth, you know, when it's just Abigail, Kat, and Florence. And Kat says, we have requested a mature, experienced teacher, someone who would not shrink from the challenges that Coal Valley presents. And then Elizabeth starts speaking in Latin. And I think that's when Florence mentions.
Yeah, that's when she says that. Yeah.
And then she sees the rat. And she like, sweet.
Berman and I are not usually on
so much
friendly terms.
Yeah.
And then Florence is like,
so much.
Florence is like, 1 week is going to be a long time.
Yeah.
I forgot how grumpy Florence is. Like, she was grumpy actually for a really long time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you think about it, she had just lost her husband. Yeah, she had literally just lost her husband. So I never really thought about, when I was first watching the show, I never really thought about what Florence or any of these other ladies were like before they lost their husbands.
Right. And we're probably getting a glimpse of that, especially with her marrying Ned and then Molly with her flirtations with Bill and everything, like getting to see that. Like, I miss Kat. Like, I wish I would have been able to see how Kat is now, because like Kat was my favorite because her and Abigail were pretty much the only ones that didn't just automatically shut Elizabeth down, automatically made up their minds like she's gonna be horrible. She's gonna be like this little princess, and she's not gonna last at all. Which I can understand why they were being so like overly critical about Elizabeth, because they themselves were paying her with money that they were that they were having to make up themselves with hardly anything, because like their husbands just died. So I remember whenever I first watched it without fully knowing exactly what was going on with the coal mines, because they kind of mentioned it, you weren't really getting to see the effects of it. And so I was like, man, like I can understand wanting to be like wanting to make sure like your kid's teacher is a good one, like before you just go and like you do all this. But goodness, the girl just got off with stuff. I just got done getting robbed, having everything that she ever had stolen and everything, like driving a town where she knows no one, and they're being overcritical of her. But and that's even kind of a parallel, because like the wives lost everything, like lost the loves of their lives, the people who were like the whole like their way of getting anything, you know, because none of them, like back in those times, the women didn't work. Their work was at home. They cooked, they cleaned, they took care of the children, they gave birth to children. You know, they did everything that their husbands needed them to do while they went and worked and made the money.
Yeah.
So like I can understand, like it seems now like they're like, obviously they're, how I would think would be like, what are we gonna do now without them? Like we have nothing now, because like they wouldn't even hire women back in those days. Not really.
Yeah.
The first scene of Elizabeth using the outhouse and getting settled at the teenager age.
Like, I think that This is reminding me how far Elizabeth has come. Like, as much problems as we have with Elizabeth now, she has come so far.
She was
even in that very same season, whenever Julie came around, and she was kind of like being what Abigail was to her, to Julie.
Mm-hmm.
And acting as if she just spent the last 4 or 5 years in Hope Valley and not just a few months. By the time Julie came to visit her, and she's acting like she'd been there like for years, like telling Julie like everything, and it was just like,
she was eating the onion, like her biting into that raw onion, and then the smoking stove, like, and then like the ash coming up on her face. She was like, "Oh my God."
Yeah.
And then
her kitchen and teacher is on fire. This is how my day felt.
Never built another teacherage.
Right? Yeah.
Which I know, but like, obviously, like, they wouldn't need it anymore because, like, obviously Elizabeth had, like, the row house, and then her and Jack got married and everything like that. So obviously she wouldn't have been at the teachers for very long. But still, I love that they never rebuilt their teacherage.
Yeah. I mean, this honestly is how my day felt. I literally looked at my manager and went, because this day just has to keep getting better. Like, we were understaffed. We were understaffed the entire day. It was nonstop the entire day. Our computer system shut down. And then, like, both of our drink machines messed up. And then, like, it was like anything and everything that could go wrong was going wrong. And I just, I was just like, because this day just has to keep getting better. Like, it just, like, it can't stop here. It just has to keep getting better. So yeah, the whole, like, everything progressively getting worse. That's how my day was today.
Sorry. And then just briefly, her setting the trap from the animals and trying to hide. Can we just talk about her jumping on the bed with that spoon?
Yes.
That would be me.
Yeah. No, I would be running out of the house.
And then hanging the dress too close to the fire, which sets the teacherage on fire.
Yeah. Welcome to Coal Valley. This is who I am.
I honestly thought, I guess it was because of the movie, like the pilot movie, and then reading the books. I thought that was whenever I first rewatched the show, I forgot that wasn't whenever we first met Jack. I thought it was for some reason whenever I was watching, but it wasn't until the first whistle blows that Elizabeth was around. She was in the teacher, and she was in the saloon. That's another thing, like teaching a class in the saloon.
Yeah. Sorry, I need a drink.
I don't drink.
I don't drink. That little kid. I got a cheese sandwich. Oh, I like cheese.
Yeah. Also, I don't remember her name, but the lady that was like, "You give out schoolwork for home. I think work should be done in class, not at my supper table."
I agree, though, to tell you the truth.
I agree. Like, homework, no.
Yeah.
I don't think children should be having to bring home homework. That's you're not doing anything for them. You're not doing anything for. I mean, no.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, like, truthfully, when a kid spends that much time in school all day long, why should they have to come home and do homework?
Well, my thing is this: whenever you know a student has more than one class, like, you're not the only person teaching them all, and plus, like, you have more than just one subject. So even if you were being taught by the same teacher throughout the whole day, all 5 or 6 or 7 subjects, you still have to have, like, you give them a piece of homework for each subject. That's still like 7 things of homework.
Yeah.
That they have to complete after being at school for like 8 hours. Yeah.
Unless it's a project, then.
Yeah. Even then, I'd be really worried about even doing that. And plus, they wouldn't be doing it by themselves. They would be doing it with another student, preferably. But no, I was. It was whenever she was obviously introducing like the rules of her class, different things like that, and like literally as she's telling them, like, if you like, please don't leave your seats without permission. Like raise your hand if you need to speak, things like that. And like Gabe and all them immediately like jump up out of their seats and start running out of the saloon whenever they hear the whistle. And obviously Elizabeth has no clue what's going on because that's probably like her first full day in Hope Valley. And so like I can't remember the little girl's name, but the little girl was obviously like Miss Thatcher.
Rachel. Yes, Rachel.
You know, like, yeah, I think so. Yeah. She was telling me like, best stop for you to stop them. Like, they're not going to stop. They're, you know, and she's like, what's going on? What's the whistle even in vain? And that's whenever they tell them like that means that they found more daddies in the mine. And oh, my heart just like shattered. And it's still kind of like, got squeezed whenever I heard it. It's like whenever I rewatched it, I was like, oh man, like, can you imagine being a little kid and like that whistle blowing? And like, and that telling you like, you know, they might have found your father and that, and it's almost like, okay, it's now a complete reality. It's real. Like, he's gone.
Yeah. Okay, but on a slightly lighter note, we know, you know, when they get to the mine and they had found that the plane, with the message "Forgive me, Paul"
Henry
on it. Yeah, and Henry Gowan, how much he's changed. Oh my word.
Oh my God.
But
I hated his character in season 1.
I know, right? I know. But obviously Jack rides up, has his whole little speech. And the little boy that Elizabeth's holding is like, who's that? And she's like, that's a Mountie. But did anybody else notice when Jack rode away and Elizabeth turned to watch him ride away, the grin on that little boy's face that she was holding?
Yeah.
It was so adorable. All of those kids were so adorable.
Yes. Yeah.
And before Jack comes in, this guy named Mr. Palmer, he has a standoff with Henry. And then that's when Jack comes in and, you know, Rachel says, who's that, Miss Thatcher? And, you know, she says, that's a Mountie. Jack suggests all the widows submit a sample of their husband's writing to Henry as evidence, which we all know. And then I love Jack's first line in the show. Well, one of his first lines. After Henry says, who might you be, young man? And Jack says, my name is Jack Thornton. I'm the new constable of Hope Valley.
Yeah.
And I love that, though, like, I love that Nathan's first like major line was almost the same exact thing, because he gets locked up in the jail and like he has to tell Jack like, I'm your new Mountie.
Tell Bill, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the new constable of Hope Valley.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
And it's so weird to hear them call it Coal Valley.
I know.
It's so weird for them to call it Coal Valley.
Okay. Y'all know what's coming next. The first meeting. I literally wrote almost this entire dialogue down.
Go.
My favorite part is that I must have I love them talking about the cold the chalk dust. And him being like,
remember in their wedding vows when they said from chalk dust to eternity?
Oh,
my heart!
Oh my God, you have to do so dirty. Why?
Oh, Dan, why did you have to leave the show?
Oh my God! Can y'all imagine if he had not left the show?
How different it would be right now.
Oh my, like, I want to see that. I want to see that, like, alternative universe, like, so bad.
Yeah.
Like, to imagine him with, like, little Jack. And obviously, we've seen Daniel with kids before, because he's played with, like, several different ages and stuff like that. Like, and I feel like the closest thing that we're going to see is, like, how he was with, like, Opal and Cody and different ones like that. But, oh.
Yeah.
Like, Dana, why?
Yeah.
Okay, before we get into the dialogue, this is nothing against Hallmark. I love Hallmark, but I think in a way they did him wrong because they didn't give him enough action scenes, and that's what he wanted. And I think that's one of the reasons why he left.
Y'all, I'm telling you right now, Daniel can do some action scenes, because I watched a few of the episodes of this show that obviously didn't. I don't even think they did like a full. I don't even think they got a season 2. I think they only had like the season 1. That was it. And it's called, I want to say it was called Eye Candy. And
I watched that.
Yeah, it was with Victoria Justice, and
Yeah.
like her sister was missing, and I think he was like a detective or something like that. And like he did so many action scenes in that one season, and you could just tell that he like loved it and like thrived in that season. And then it didn't even get picked up for a second season. I don't think.
I don't
So
know.
yeah.
But yeah, Nicole, if you want to read off that dialogue, go ahead. That was one of my favorite spots.
Brilliant writing right here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see if I can do this without laughing. And I don't write the whole thing, but I wrote almost all of it. And I started when he says, "Now it's all making sense." And then, she's like, "What is making sense?" And he says, "Miss Thatcher, a week ago, I had never even heard of Colt Valley. And while I was planning my trip to Cape Fullerton, I was told I was being reassigned here. Reassigned at the request of a very powerful man. Surely you don't think that that a very wealthy man's daughter might be why I now have to eat coal dust for the next God knows how long? I'm sure that's why I'm here, to keep William Thatcher's princess from stubbing her toe in a town she had no business coming to. To be candid, sir, I think you're way off base with that remark. And just so we're clear, even if my father did pull strings to get you here, I don't need you. I can take care of my own stub toes, thank you very much." Right.
What I love about this scene is watching them go from he is flirting with her. He is full on flirting with her.
Yeah.
Until he finds out who her dad is. And then he gets angry.
Yeah.
And then by the end of that conversation right there, he's still angry.
Yeah.
And yet there is a fire in her that he's grinning like she is funky.
It gets better.
Why do I like this? Like, I should actually be hating this because she's the reason why I'm gonna be eating coal dust, but yet I love how sassy she's being.
It gets better. On second thought, it's obvious I won't have to be here long because you won't last a month in a town like this. Well, Constable Thornton, I think you better settle in. And then we see like that slight smile from Jack. And get used to a steady diet of coal dust. I'm a Thatcher. We don't run from a challenge. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have reading materials to prepare for my students. Good day to you, sir.
And he kind of like half grins and then straightens his face, nods like, well, like, he is trying so hard not to like her in that moment. He's wanting to be mad.
But honestly, it makes sense because then you meet Rosemary.
Yes.
And it all makes sense as to why that is kind of one of those things that attracts Jack Thornton.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we didn't get to meet Rosemary in this, and I'm not going to say much more, but oh my gosh, I watched, obviously, like I kind of did a binge watching last year, like I mentioned before. But whenever she stepped foot off of that
stage,
that stagecoach, and obviously talked about how she was Jack's fiance, and seeing Elizabeth's face and everything like that. And like, obviously throughout that episode, I was thinking in my head, like, oh my God, I forgot how much I hated this woman.
Right?
I hated Rosemary too in season 1.
I absolutely despise, like, I hated Rosemary more than I hated Gowan.
Yeah.
Like, Gowan, like, wasn't even a speck compared to how much I hated Rosemary.
Yeah.
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 But obviously looking back and seeing that moment and seeing all the other moments that we know kind of where we see like Elizabeth's spunkiness and stuff like that, you kind of see that little slight grin on Jack's face and everything like that. It's like moments like that where I'm like, okay, Jack has a type. And it's definitely very spunky mouthy with women.
What's funny about this, like,
I have a feeling Jack would love us.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yep. But obviously, like, after that conversation, Jack like walks out of the saloon and walks directly straight across to the Mercantile and sends a telegram strongly requesting a new post.
A transfer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
He sees another telegram
Mm-hmm.
about the safety violation.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Elizabeth getting the black eye.
And okay, before that, Jack wood chopping and her seeing it, and then her fanning herself.
Yes.
The OG wood chopper, where we had no clue just how spicy wood chopping was. That was probably the spiciest thing that Hallmark ever did, was having him in that Henley and suspenders chopping wood. Why in the world?
I'm not gonna lie, I was almost fanning myself too the first time I saw it.
Like why? I literally even thought about it. I'm like, why is this attractive?
Guys, for future reference, if you want to get a girl's attention, apparently you need to go out and chop some wood.
They're what's it called?
In the Henley.
They're
suspenders optional.
I'm trying to think of the word. Oh gosh. And
that's another thing. That's another thing that like everyone always talks about how like Jack and Nathan were nothing alike. It's like that's two scenes right there that are comparable between Nathan and Jack. Like first, how they introduced themselves to Hope Valley. Obviously, Jack didn't get punched in the face, but they still had to.
Poor Nathan has literally been getting hit from the moment he set foot on this show.
Literally,
they have not stopped using that poor man as a punching bag.
I want to like, yeah, but like, no, that's like two things already in just the first episode where we're able to be like, okay, that reminds me of what happened with Nathan.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of the word.
Nathan, yeah. Oh my gosh, the chopping of the wood.
I can't think of the word, but it's like every guy like requires wood chopping.
Yeah,
like any guy.
Yeah,
but it's the word that like musicians use for stuff that like they always want to have on the road. I cannot think of the word right now.
Oh, essentials?
No, it's not. No, that's not the word. I can't think of it. Oh,
I have no clue.
Can't think of it. If it comes to me, I'll let y'all know.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, just blurt it out and make us all confused and everything like that as to what the heck you're talking about. It'll make for good comedy on the podcast. But
Elizabeth getting the black eye though. I'm glad Gabe wasn't the one to hit her. I will say that. I'm glad Gabe wasn't the one to hit her. But I love that like, you know, Elizabeth coming downstairs, Abigail asked her to set the table for 3 and was just like, you know how you said the first few days might be a little bumpy? Well, you were right. And she turns around, Abigail's like, black and blue too, apparently. What?
Oh my God.
And then somebody knocks on the door, so Abigail asks Elizabeth to answer the door, and of course there's just that type, you know, interaction, and Jack's like, nice shiner. It's my first, actually, but I think I earned it. Got those bags packed yet? Why? Had you fill of coal dust already? Like, you know, just their whole little like back and forth.
Like that, I think that's what drew me so much to When Calls the Heart, because like usually you don't get that kind of thing with the period dramas. You know, it's usually like the stealing glances from across the room, and that kind of dynamic. And like obviously the women are prim and proper, and they don't speak out of turn, and they don't do certain things, and they definitely don't talk like that, especially to another man, especially a man in uniform. And so like I love that because of the setting that it's in. Obviously you're in the West, and you're, you know, all that kind of stuff gets thrown out the window because you're having to literally survive.
Right.
And so like I think that's what really drew me to When Calls the Heart, because I've never been much of a period drama person. Like I like some of the Jane Austen and of course like Anne of Green Gables, but as far as like just any period drama, it was never something that I really liked. And so I think that was really what caught my eye was just that dynamic between those two, and like how they didn't.
It's how we talk. It's how
tongue.
we relate.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. I love the fact that obviously, they have dinner, they have the conversation about the mine and everything.
Yeah.
And as they're walking out the door, Elizabeth's like, "Thank you so much for coming." Constantly, she closed the door. Was it really necessary to make her relive the worst day of her life? like closes the door and then lights into it.
This is literally Kerri's favorite scene out of the entire show, because she can literally quote it word for word.
I have it written down.
Script.
I have it written down. But before
Kerri
that,
doesn't need it written down. Kerri knows that thing by heart. She does not need that thing written down because she quotes it all the time.
before we get to that little dialogue, have y'all seen the extended version of the dinner?
No.
There's an extended, that scene got cut. There's a longer version of that scene.
Okay,
why is it that Hallmark has the thing where they like to cut the best stuff out?
It's on, I think it's still on, it's on the DVD that I have of season 1.
Everyone talks about it, and there's like literal picture proof that Nathan and Elizabeth had to dance at Claire and Jesse's wedding. Is there actually a scene? Did they ever put that on the DVDs?
I actually have not. I'm so behind. I've actually not watched my season 7 collection DVDs yet.
Like literally, just like whenever you get a chance, see if they have any of those deleted scenes. And I swear, if they have a deleted scene of that, I don't think they did, because I feel like every single Team Nathan person would probably be.
I don't feel like they would have put that in there. I don't know if they would have put that in there, but
the extended version of this dinner scene, I think, is on the movie version of episodes 1 and 2 of season 1. I think.
Okay. See, I had to watch it on Hallmark Movies now.
I didn't know they had an extended version of that dinner.
I think I got it on Edify Films, all my season DVDs.
I think that's the only place you can get the DVDs, unless you shop like secondhand.
They might be on Amazon, or at least
maybe.
I think the Amazon ones are different.
Probably. I feel like Edify Films has like a specific version because Hallmark does all their stuff through them, or at least the hard stuff.
The Edify Films version, they give you the episode versions and the movie versions.
Okay.
We need to get, so Kerri actually met the guy behind Edify Films, and we've got to get him on, because I want to see if he has ever seen that scene.
Yeah. He was so sweet. Elliot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I can go ahead and tell you though, I'm going to introduce him as Daniel Lissing.
Are you Daniel Lissing?
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be fun when we have him on the podcast. Yeah. But yeah, the whole dialogue thing when
it's
she's like, you think you can really just like have a conversation with somebody, or whatever, and in just a few minutes figure out all these things that nobody else has picked up on? He's like, sometimes. He's like, how clever. Yeah. And she turns around and starts walking off, and he's like, I knew after just 2 minutes of 2 minutes of talking to you, that you weren't wearing your own shoes or dress, and that you weren't disappointed when you found out I was coming to dinner. She was like, how would you know that? He said, you walk on the outside of your feet to compensate for your shoes being too tight, and your dress is 2 inches too short, or 3 inches too short, and a little tight around the waist. She's like, and the part about not being disappointed about seeing you at dinner, that was just the guess.
Yes.
How dare you? Like that smirk. The smirk. Oh my gosh. This
and not even like a clear indication, because like also having his own dialogue like that whenever he was kind of being brought up or something. I think he had a scenario where he like dissected something like that. And then we know Nathan had a scene like that as well, because he went investigating about the oil, and he interviewed and he saw like the son and the father who were like tampering with the tests, and like he did the same thing to them where he like dissected them completely. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I just love that stuff, because like the detail work of like a Mountie, and being able to see that they're not just about the guns and the horse and like the racing after the bad guy and all that kind of stuff like that. Even though I love the gunslinging, don't get me wrong. Yeah. I love that part of it, especially because like like I think one of my favorite scenes of Nathan as a Mountie was when that was with Gabe. I mean, not Gabe. Yeah, Gabe, his ex brother-in-law. Was that his name, Gabe?
What was Nathan's brother-in-law's name, Nicole?
I think it was Gabe.
You're muted, Nicole.
I don't remember. It might have been
Was
Gabe.
it Dylan?
I think it was Gabe.
Was it Dylan?
No, that was Allie's dad, I think.
Well, that's who we're talking about.
That's what we're talking about.
Oh, sorry. Duh.
Oh, it was Dylan. Okay.
It was Dylan,
Oh.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I'm
Yeah.
not just talking about him like shoving him up against the wall whenever he first came to the Mountie office. I'm talking about like whenever they go to that old house that he's like hiding out in, and like
The Mounties always get their man.
It's so loud. That was like always like that is like my favorite scene because like it makes you think like Nathan got defeated so easily by Dylan, but it was his plan all along for him to get for all that to happen.
Yeah.
Maybe not exactly like it happened because I could tell that being thrown off
Newton.
thrown off Newton definitely caught him off guard. But yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I have to mention Jack seeing Elizabeth trying to get on the horse.
That girl was showing some leg. I'm just gonna say, for that time period, that's like
Fashion.
And then we see her meet with Kat, and she's talking to her about Gabe and his father Joseph. And Jack shows up, and then in unison, they're like, "You." And Elizabeth's like, "Invite yourself to somebody else's home for dinner so you can ask all sorts of insensitive questions."
I love how she just smiles as she closes the door in his face.
And she closes the door on him. It's like,
and his face is just like.
And it gets even better a couple scenes after when Elizabeth follows Gabe into the woods.
Okay, but before we get to that though, can we talk about the fact when the funeral?
Yeah,
obviously, which honestly I forgot. Like that was Elizabeth and Abigail standing there. That would have been Noah and Peter's funeral because Abigail was one of the ones standing up front.
Yeah.
So I honestly forgot about that. But after the funeral, Gowan discovered that someone had stolen the plane. And him telling Jack, "I want you to investigate this, whatever." And Jack's like, "Just so we're clear, I don't work for you. I am not on your payroll. I am here to protect the entire town. I do not take my orders from you." And Gowan kind of sobers up a little bit. He's like, "Does the entire town include me?" And he's like, "Of course." And he's like, "Well, then I would appreciate it if you would look." But the fact that Jack stood up to Gowan like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you could tell like Gowan knew, especially after that moment. And I'm sure like whenever he actually like came up for the very first time on his horse and was like breaking up the fight and everything, the way that Jack acted even in that moment.
Yeah.
But there was numerous moments where I think Gowan started saying like, okay, I'm not going to be able to continue my way of doing things very much longer with him here.
Yeah. But yes, them following Gabe into the woods. Sorry,
I
had to mention that first. Yeah.
The line, "Instinct is for Mounties, not teachers. Let me handle this. Students are for teachers, not Mounties."
Okay, before they get to that though, like when Jack's like, "What are you doing here?" She's like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "Following him." "Me too." "How'd you know?" "Know what?" "He's the one." "The one what?" "You don't know, do you?" "Of course I know." "You don't know why you're here in like many respects," or something like that. She's like, I'm here because I had a feeling that he was going somewhere, that he wanted to be alone and he might need help. And then or had an instinct. Yeah. And then the whole instincts for Mounties, not for teachers, and teachers are for, or students are for teachers, not Mounties. The line,
why they're such a great team.
Exactly. But the line that like got me,
oh god,
very first episode, knowing what's coming, and I'm not even going to apologize for spoiler alerts if anybody has not watched this series before. Like, anyway, but knowing what's coming, when Elizabeth said, sometimes people die without I love yous or I forgive yous, but just because they didn't say it doesn't mean they wouldn't have if they got the chance.
I'm about to cry right now.
I know.
Y'all, I think this TV show.
No, you don't. It's what brought you and I together. So that's
okay, fine. I hate Daniel listening because he forced them to die.
That line, though. Oh man.
Yeah, you texted me that line, Dan. I'm like,
Yes. Oh man.
Why'd you have to leave the show, Dan?
I know. Okay, am I the only one? Okay, this is something I don't understand, and maybe there was a scene that we didn't see or something. But apparently, Jack never took the plank back to Gowan. He just took it directly to Abigail.
Yeah, because she was the one that later brought it to the saloons. The way everyone can enjoy it, and it was the sickle for everyone. Yeah, so
right,
I guess so.
Yeah, but like technically, Gowan was the one that was in possession of it, and Gowan would have been the one to actually technically release it to Abigail's custody, even though Jack was the one that figured it out. So it just kind of seems a little weird.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it was a cut scene. I don't know.
Maybe there was a cut scene, and maybe they weren't ready to kind of introduce that side between Gowan and Abigail yet.
But then again, I feel like that would have gotten Gabe in trouble with Gowan, and I think
that's true too.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I thought it was so sweet that Abigail,
like a little tiny plot hole,
wanted to hang the plaque in the saloon, and that's something else. Like, I don't remember. Have we ever seen that plaque in there again?
Not. Honestly, I think they took it down. I don't think the last time I saw it was the last time I saw Abigail on the show. In fact, I think.
Right.
Yeah. Because it was early. It was whenever Abigail was still on the show. It was like I want to say it was there in season 6.
I'll have to go back and watch. I'll have to go back and watch.
Yeah, I had to go back and watch, but it wasn't early in the seasons where I saw it. Yeah, I would love for them to bring that plaque back, and I would love for them to bring Nathan's plaque back.
Well, the thing about it is they can't bring that plaque back because the saloon burned. Remember? So that was
I mean, it wasn't burned completely. It wasn't burned down.
True.
It could be kind of like tarnished a little bit, and like Elizabeth finds it, and like
Yeah, who knows? I don't know. But the scene at the end, and I have seen like the extended letter writing scene.
I don't know if I remember that. I don't know if I've seen it. I can't remember.
I just remember it's longer. Like, I don't remember the entire letter. I don't think it was really anything that was specifically missed, but it was like just her like writing the whole letter. But I love at the end of it, obviously that's when Jack
script.
Yeah, when he asks her, like, can we like, it appears we're gonna be here for a while, so can we get rid of the constable title, and can I convince you to just call me Jack? She's like, does that mean you're expecting to be here for a while? And he was like, no, just I don't remember the whole conversation there, but she tells him he can call her Elizabeth. And so he goes upstairs, and when she's like, postscript,
please greet my younger sister for me and pass along that I've yet to see any whiskey runners. Yet to see any whiskey runners. However, I have run into some cowboys, outlaws, and one very handsome, annoying
Mountie.
And there there's another little note towards Nathan because, like, I remember, well, not Nathan, like, whenever she and Nathan had their first conversation in the saloon, she tells him to call her Elizabeth, and for him to call her Nathan. Like, he introduced her again as Nathan. Mm-hmm. Okay, Lucas tells her to call him Lucas, but she never told Lucas to call her Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Yeah.
My 2 cents.
Yeah.
I love how that's like literally the first episode that we've done from the first season, and I've already found like 3 things.
Right.
That is like, I'm just like,
Continuity.
I had a couple of memories, like Instagram story memory things pop up today of different things that I was just like, okay, yeah, we weren't wrong. You know, like just different evidence things. And I won't get into it on the episode, but I'm like, we were not wrong.
No.
We were not wrong.
No.
So yeah.
That's probably one thing, like obviously having to relive Jack's, spoiler alert, death. Mm-hmm. But also having to relive all of that is gonna be hard. Whenever even though we won't be
honestly, I think it'll be a little easier since we know what's coming. Yeah, like it's gonna be hard, but it's not gonna be so out of the blue.
I'm still gonna get mad, but yeah.
I remember.
We don't have to, but then again, we don't have to recap 7 and 8 because did we already do those? I know we did 8, but did we do 7?
We haven't done 7, no, because we haven't gone back and recapped anything.
Okay. So
technically, I don't think we recapped the entirety of season 8 because we picked up like halfway through season 8.
No, we did. We did do season. No, we did the entirety of season 8.
Okay.
Yeah, we did the entirety of season 8.
I remember coming on for the Canfield episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we had already done at least 2 or 3 episodes before Nicole came on.
Yeah,
and those came on in like the 3rd or 4th episode. Yeah,
4. Yeah.
Joseph came on episode 4, I think.
Yeah.
And I want to say, did we have Amy? I think we had Amy before we had Nicole.
I think y'all. I remember.
So I think her episode was episode 2 or episode 3.
Yeah.
Episode 2. I think it was episode 2 because that was whenever we had Nathan confess his feelings to Elizabeth.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I'm kind of glad we don't have to recap all that again.
Thank you, Jesus.
Like one episode or something where we like talk about rewatching that season and what our thoughts are on rewatching it. Not like recapping the entire season episode by episode, but like
just more and more evidence as to why it was a flip script. And going back over that whole spiel.
Yeah.
Or when the flip happens, we can do it and talk about how right we were.
Yeah, I still don't see that happening, but I
don't either. But God, it would be awesome.
I mean, I'm not saying it is, and I'm not saying it's not.
Yeah.
Honestly, at this point, I'm trying not to say what Hallmark would or wouldn't do. I'm trying to keep myself from trying not to dissect everything like we did, because I think that was what made everything bad. Because we were right. Oh, yeah. Absolutely, 100% right. I mean, me and you, we predicted Nathan's secret from the very beginning. Mm-hmm. Like literally, I think we only got one part wrong, and I can't remember what part that was.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, I think we got one small little thing wrong, and I could be wrong. We probably would. I don't know if we got. I want to say we got one small little part wrong, and I can't remember what it was.
I don't remember.
Or am I not did? Maybe we did get the entire thing right. I don't know.
I predicted the Nathan connection to Jack.
Yeah, yeah. I remember us all talking about it on live, but yeah, that's gonna be crazy to rewatch.
I don't think that was actually. Aaron and Kevin, I remember they had a storyline.
They had that, but they weren't wanting it to be the way that it ended up being. They wanted it to be why they
That's
got
what I was
together.
trying. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I don't think that was it that we saw. I don't think that was it.
Yeah, I don't think that was exactly what Aaron and Kevin had in mind. I feel like they were trying to use that as the reason why Nathan and Elizabeth would get back together, is because they have like an even deeper understanding of each other's pain.
Yeah. Anything else we want to say about season 1, episode 1? Because I know we can talk all night about the everything else, but
I can't remember. Was Rip in this episode?
No, he doesn't come in until
I think he came in the second, because this is the pilot, and so they didn't start recording for the second episode until a little later, because obviously back, especially then, they would record the pilot first, and then they would let the pilot go before an audience, and the audience would vote whether or not to let them to go through to do any more recording for the rest of the season, like to be picked up for a whole season. So I want to say a lot of stuff changed, even, but like not a lot changed, but you could we'll probably see a few things change between the first episode and the second episode. And I feel like one of those things is probably Rip. I feel, because I remember Rip being pretty early in the season.
I thought he came in season 2, but I could be totally wrong.
I don't remember.
I don't think it was season 2.
I don't know. We'll find out. We're gonna get there.
I think it was either
who votes for Allie getting a dog, and then him, like, obviously Nathan's like totally against it, and then ends up being like how Jack was with Rip, and it being just like him being the Mountie dog. Like, I want that. I want that so bad. I want Nathan to be like the classic dad and being like, we are not getting a dog. And then she gets a dog, and then he's the one that loves it probably more than she does.
Yeah.
I think it was episode 2 or 3. I remember he was in episode 3 of season 1, Rip, because that was the episode when Rosaline goes missing, and the pastor was like having Jack look into everything with the church burning down. I think, well, like he was starting to, and I remember there was some kind of like Jack was playing with Rip, like with a ball or something.
Oh yeah. I remember.
And then the pastor comes in. Yeah. It was like, "Are you doing your work like you're supposed to, or something?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that pastor.
The ball like rolls under the pastor's foot. Yeah, I remember what you're talking about. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember it now.
Yeah.
All right. Nicole, anything else?
I feel like he's in the second episode.
It might be.
But yeah, I loved Rip. I love hound dogs. Like, I want to get a hound dog now. I want to name him Rip.
Yeah.
But yeah. There's so many things from these early seasons that I miss, because there's so many characters that aren't on the show. A lot of the kids aren't on the show, and we haven't even really gotten to see a whole lot of the kids the past couple seasons because of COVID. So yeah.
Such a good episode.
I wonder who Nicole, do you know who the actor who plays Gabe is?
Mitchell
Kamen.
Yeah,
I think I said his last name right.
Has he been in anything recently? Because I obviously I don't really know him as Gabe. Like, I haven't seen. Like, I know he's got to be older than Javin is now, because he was older than him whenever in the first season.
Let's see.
Because he was way older than all of the kids. I think he was very close to graduating whenever he was on the show.
Okay. He was born in 1999.
Oh crap! He's almost as old as I am. How is?
It doesn't say what month or day.
I am 3 years older than him, so he's like 23.
Crap.
Yeah. He's 23.
The most recent thing
in fairness though, this was 10 years ago.
Yeah,
so he would have been like 13.
He was 13 at the show.
The most recent thing that IMDb is showing is the Sherman Oaks Haunting, which is a short film in 2020. And then he was in the Hallmark movie Wedding of Dreams with Debbie Gibson and Pascal Hutton in 2018. That was his.
I think I remember that.
That was his most recent Hallmark.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
bring him on as like with the mystery series we were talking about. Bring him
Yeah.
on as some character. We'll just have like a whole little When Calls the Heart alumni show going on.
Maybe he could be like, a rookie that Aaron like has to kind of like semi sort of like help every once
Or
in a
maybe like
while,
her
or,
kid
train
brother.
her.
Or maybe like her kid brother or
Yes,
something.
like a kid brother.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know that
Somebody, a kid brother that's like wanting to quit college and join the police department, and she don't let him quit college.
I know that
Or drop out and go into the army.
Yeah.
Because I think you actually have to have a high school education in order to become a police officer.
I know on Garage Sale
And I think you actually have to start. Actually, I think you have to do that in order to get into the military as well.
Well, he's in his 20s
But
now.
all
So
you
he
have-
wouldn't be playing a teenager, but that's why I'm saying college instead of
Yeah.
high school.
I know.
Oh yeah, so yeah, I think him going into the military would probably be better than the police officer
Yeah.
department, mainly because that's what Gabe wanted. He wanted to become a bounty, and then later on, we even had Robert want to do the same thing, except they wanted to drop out of school, not college.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Wait, isn't that what happened with Gabe? Didn't Gabe go off and want to go into the Mounties? I want to say that's how they wrote his character off, was that he actually went to the Mounties. I can't remember.
I don't remember. We'll find out. We're gonna get to all that.
Or
Yeah.
he
Go
went
ahead,
to the black hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know
I love
that.
when I can't remember, was it this episode or it might be the next episode where Gabe like salutes Jack, and like Jack like fixes his salute and then salutes him back.
Was it? Let's see when. No, I think that was episode. I could be wrong, but I think that was episode.
I think that was the Billy Hamilton episode. One of the Billy Hamilton episodes.
I think it was episode 4, maybe. It was the one when Kat was being investigated for.
Right. Okay.
Or like
yeah.
right before that.
Yeah.
He was always so good with the kids.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I would love to see more scenes of Nathan with the kids.
Yeah.
So
I kind of would like to see the young guy that played Bo again.
Yeah.
yeah.
Thomas Stanhope. He was in Garage Sale
Yeah.
Mysteries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He played
All right.
Lori's son on Garage Sale
Mhm.
Mysteries.
All right.
I can't wait to
Anything
get
else?
through that episode with the
Yeah.
kids, with Jack.
Yeah.
and-
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we need to wrap this
Yeah.
episode up because we'll get to all the other episodes. We're going to cover all the other episodes on this one episode if we don't stop. So, apologies for the mess that has been this episode, but y'all should not be surprised by now. So
If anything, you guys encourage us to do this, because I've heard so many of you guys talk about how you love this because it helps you get through your day or your commute to work, or when you're working out or studying or whatever. You guys just play us because we're such a long, continuous thing.
Yeah.
Oh, my word. They're saying that we're long-winded, is what they're saying. Facts is facts. Hashtag facts.
Facts.
Anyway. Anyway. All right.
No,
We love you
I'm so
guys.
excited to cover the rest of this season, like these early seasons, and getting to see all the things that we've had forgotten that happened, or like just different things that go on in these early seasons.
Yeah.
Not looking forward to the end after the wedding of season 5, but the rest of this stuff I'm excited to see.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we love you guys. Like I said, we are so excited to finally be recapping these early seasons of When Calls the Heart. And we'll be back again soon. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.